Well, hello there everyone. Welcome to another UXW Bill video. Turn down the blower fan there so that maybe you can actually hear me, and I'll tell you what we're up to today. We're out on the road in the heating and air conditioning service car, also known as my late grandfather's Mercury Grand Marquis. There's a co-worker of mine who caught up with me yesterday toward the end of my workday, and he said, I've got a window air conditioner that stopped cooling, started blowing hot air. So after work, I agreed to go and take a look at it, and what I discovered, just by a visual inspection and a brief run of the unit, seemed to suggest that the condenser coil was exceedingly clogged up with dust, dirt, dead bees, who knows what all sorts of fun stuff's in there. Probably plenty of mosquitoes. There were certainly plenty of those out and about. Anyway, I don't know how much of a helicopter the gentleman happens to be. That is to say, is he going to follow me around and watch everything that I'm doing and maybe question why I'm recording or ask me questions while I'm working on the unit, which I certainly don't mind. It's just that I don't really like having other people on video that aren't direct family members or close friends, something along those lines. So I don't know if this video will even see the light of day. And if it does, I don't know how heavily edited it will have to be, because again, the privacy of others is important to me. And I don't know how this particular gentleman would feel about my recording video, especially if he happens to be in it at his home. So we'll see what we get when we get there. So stay tuned, thanks to the magic of video editing. That's something you won't see on a modern car, a nice counterbalanced trunk lid like that. I wonder how much of this stuff spilled all over the place. Well, I don't think too much of it did. Okay, so what we have here, basically three things. We have plain water in this, and then down here in this power sprayer, which is a huge piece of junk that I wouldn't ever recommend that you buy for reasons I'll show in just a moment, hopefully. We have a mix of coil cleaner and hot water. There's hot water in both of these. Probably not real hot now, but it was hot when I started. So I also have a blower over here to help dry out the coil after we're done. Okay, so here we are. I forgot this has to go inside rather than out. You have to push rather than pull. And we'll get our little pressure washer here. And here's the unit in question. When we started it yesterday, I had him turn it off to go ahead and try and save it from any more damage than it's already sustained, because I don't know if the compressor went out on thermal, I don't know if it was bypassing, I don't know what it was doing, but out here, from the outside, this coil really doesn't look too bad. But just to put my hand in front of it while the unit was running, it was rejecting heat, but there was just next to no airflow, and you could feel the airflow just kind of coming around here. This is not the way it's supposed to go. The air's supposed to go in through here and out through the front of the coil, and it just couldn't do that. Now about this thing and why I wouldn't buy it. Saw another guy on YouTube's got one of these, and I bought one because I was very intrigued by the idea. But the problem with it is that the nozzle here is missing, because it actually broke. The little plastic piece that holds it on just cracked. And I suppose the manufacturer might still stand behind it, I don't know. So it still works, but I have no trigger control. When I turn the power switch on here, we are spraying. We're also going to take a look at this unit over here. That's good advice right there for anyone who wonders. This one is flowing plenty of air through the coil. He wants it cleaned as well. So we'll just get started on this. Got some fairly gentle coil cleaner mixed in with water in here, and I'm going to go ahead and spray it on that unit. Well, I just finished up that job a while ago, and both of those air conditioners are definitely much happier than they were, probably happier than they have been in quite a long time. I'm sure someone's going to ask, and it's here that I'll get to see who actually watches the video in its entirety, why I didn't take those units out of the window and give them a much more thorough cleaning. Well, ultimately, you have to go with what the homeowner is willing to do, and since those units were caulked in place, as you may have seen, he wasn't willing to cut all of that out and let me take the units out of the window and give them the thorough cleaning that at least the one which stopped working so desperately needed. I really tried to sell it pretty hard, but again, you have to go with what the homeowner is willing to do, and he just wasn't willing to let me take those units out of the window, even though there was an awful lot of dirt still in the unit that had actually stopped functioning. There's no doubt that what I did helped considerably. The airflow was so much better. The homeowner even made the comment, wow, the coil looks so much better now. It's shiny where it wasn't before. And I just used the most gentle of cleaner on them, not anything that would brighten them or etch them in any way, shape, or form. So that's the complete story on that. I am hoping, because again, I was trying to sell this pretty hard, because I feel that it's the right thing to do, the thing that needs to be done. I'm hoping that at the start of the off season that the homeowner will let me take those units out of the window and give them the thorough cleaning that they definitely need and deserve. But he is back up and running for the time being, and I don't believe that unit will fail, but it's definitely under more stress than it ought to be. It's about 88 degrees Fahrenheit right now as I'm cruising down the highway. I think that's about all there is to say for this particular video, so I'd like to thank you for watching if you did in fact make it this far. And as always, I am definitely interested in hearing your constructive commentary. It's here that I'm going to add a little bit of a postscript to the video. I have no idea if at any point during this video you might have heard a sound not unlike a chirping bird as I was driving this car. And yes, that's what it sounded like for all the world, some kind of a Tweety bird. I think it was coming from the back end of the car. If you did hear it, I have no idea what it was. But I just thought I would mention that, yes, it was really there when this car was traveling at highway speeds and I was speaking to you earlier in the video. It's not the only strange noise that this car has ever made. Ever since we bought it, every now and again, when traveling at highway speeds, this thing makes some kind of a scritchy, scratchy sort of a sound, kind of a ch-ch-ch, although that's not a very faithful imitation of it. I don't know what it is. I've never been able to localize it, never found anything on the car that seemed as though it would make that kind of a sound. But coming back to the subject and wrapping this video up at long last, yeah, I don't know what it was, but there was definitely some sort of a strange noise being made when this car was traveling at highway speeds. And if any of you would like to conjecture on down in the comments area, be my guest. I'd love to hear any reasonable theories that you might have.